Hello Internet! Today we are going on a hike to go to the market.
And I'm PiouPiou.
And this is Azrod.
We define ourselves as anti-capitalist hippies that try to live differently. Basically, we are trying self-sufficiency. That's why we're going to the market to find either cheap vegetables or leftovers.
Look, it's beautiful water gathered inside of this tree. We are taking a new path to go to the market and look at the amazing view we have from here.
Look how the water carves the rock and made the path we're walking in right now to reach the market.
There might even be some fossils. Look, here is another one.
We're coming back from the groceries. That's why we're really sweaty, because we're bringing multiple kilos of food uphill. Like it's 1 hour of walking uphill. But we found a fossil. Look at that, it's an ammonite. You can see it's like that.
Look at this giant feather we just found.
We think it belonged to a
Bird of prey.
bird of prey.
Look, on the way we found a bunch of olive tree and look at the size
of the aloe vera.
And there is multiple one of this size.
Aloe vera is really useful to treat skin injuries. For example, I have some eczema issue. Je crois que c'est comme ça en anglais.
What?
Aloe vera is really helpful to treat eczema.
We forgot to film anything at the market, but basically there wasn't any legume or fruit in the trash and no leftover meat for the dog.
But look at this beautiful street art we found on the church.
So we are done with the market and with grocery shopping. So, because we are at the end of the month, we have our final spending for the month. We didn't limit ourselves particularly. We were able to get some treats when we wanted, some meat as well for the dog and us, and some stuff like alcohol if we wanted. So consider this. For us two, plus 2 dogs that have to eat some meat.
Plus 6 chickens.
And 4 goats.
Even if the goats eat wild stuff, but they steal our food. So it counts.
We are at 179.59 euro. So it's not that much, and again it was without limiting ourselves that much.
And we just need to walk like 1.5 hours to reach uphill. We live uphill.
Literally this one we think. So that means, by our calculation, if we live like we do, if we work for 1 month at minimum wage, at least in France,
Each year
we
can
could
live for the rest of the month without working, with the same quality of life. This begs the question, why do we work exactly?
Because most countries are facing nowadays an issue because there are too many chômage. Unemployment. Because there are too many unemployment. And for example, an idea that was thought of was to promote more people that will work less. So because you will need the same amount of hours of work, you will have to hire 2 people for the same job, hence creating twice the job that already exists.
And an example of this is a 4-day week, 4-day a week work. Comment ça s'appelle? La semaine de 4 jours en français.
It's 4-day week work.
Yeah, basically you only work 4 days a week and you have 3 days to rest, meaning that the day you don't work, other people can work. Something that's really weird, even if the ultra rich did work more than the average person qui gagne le salaire moyen,
The minimum wage or average wage.
that gains the minimum wage or the average wage, even like that, how would they reach thousands of dollars or euro per hour of work? How can somebody's work be this much more meaningful by doing nothing?
That's one of the reasons why we decided to imagine our own way of working and create those videos, for example.
We get a lot of comments wondering how could we be anti-capitalistic if we're on YouTube using smartphones for filming, for example.
There are two main points to this. One, YouTube, the internet and the smartphones weren't created by capitalism. They were created by the work of people that created technologies and then put them for society. And then capitalism used them to make huge amount of money. Look, there are dogs, and there is a sign beware dogs. Look at how cute they are.
Saying that capitalism creates stuff is as dumb as saying that ultra rich do the work that all of the employees do because they pay their employee.
And our idea with solar punks, because that's what we are, is to still use technologies to connect with people. And that's why we think YouTube and social media are amazing. At the basis, the first YouTubers weren't making money at all. The idea was just
To communicate with people.
all around the world. And that's the idea we want to follow. That's why we define ourselves as anti-capitalistic.
And that's why, even if we're French and have terrible English accent, we speak in English. Because we want everyone to be able to follow in our path.
At some point, at least I hope to be good enough in Chinese to present our project to the Chinese community on their own social media, because the two main hub of social media are either the USA, which mostly speak English, and the Chinese, which mostly speak Chinese.
It's not that your work produces value, it's the fact that your work being exploited by someone richer than you produces value for the people that exploit you.
And that's without even talking about the impact on the environment of most modern jobs. And that's without even considering the way most of so-called modern countries lived, with buildings made of concrete, which are polluting, production of energy with fossil fuel, which is also polluting.
Do you realize that most modern countries flush drinkable water up to the toilet because they want their excrement to be in drinkable water? Also, by having a solar battery, we realize that most most electric outlets in buildings give electricity all the time. They can't really be turned off. They just consume electricity because they can.
And with that, there is also how we produce food and how we use the water resources we have.
In France, we have this big fight between the state and ecologists because the state is creating concrete pool to collect water from underground pathway, underground rivers, and they basically taking the water from underground resources and putting it in big pools to just rot with algae and bacteria.
And then they sell it back to big farmers, and the smaller ones will just perish.
Modern agriculture needs to be reinvented because it's super pollutant. It's not really effective. Today we produce enough food with our agricultural system to feed people all over the world and finish famines, but we don't. We prefer to throw convenable food in the trash rather than eating it or giving it to people who can't afford buying food. What the fuck?
And that's why we want to be solar punks and dream about new way of living.
And maybe inspire some of you to do the same.
On sait le plan final?
We love
Love
you
you
and
and appreciate you. See you.
Bye.
Bye.